1940s, of course. Over the Second World War, ships were also attacked, including the Arandora Star, which was torpedoed off the coast of Ireland. The incident claimed the lives of more than 800 people and devastated Wales's Italian communities.
Well, 70 years on, and the disaster is still remembered by those who lost loved ones. In the first of two special reports, our correspondent Claire Ceri Jones takes a personal look at the tragedy.
They're the faces of a lost generation, killed when a torpedo struck the Arandora Star. When Italy joined the war in 1940, Italians who'd settled in Wales years earlier were rounded up from their homes and businesses. The men weren't a direct threat to security. They were taken away as a precaution, but many never made it back.
A letter would be returned saying, missing, presumed drowned, Arandora Star.
The Arandora Star was a cruise ship assigned to carry refugees during the war, but it was never painted with a red cross, and on the 2nd of July 1940 it was mistaken for a warship and hit by a torpedo. More than 800 men lost their lives, including Paulette Pelosi and George Hill's relatives who'd been living in Swansea. Miraculously, Paulette's grandfather Giuseppe Pelosi survived, but his cousin Rocco Sinicola was killed, and George's grandfather Michele Di Marco also died in the tragedy.
I couldn't imagine being in the water for 8 hours, especially in the cold water, and what I've heard is that they were calling out for the mothers.
Many of these men were clinging on to pieces of wood. I've heard a story of a man who literally picked up 2 deck chairs off the deck and put one each side of his body and threw himself in the water like that. Some were holding on to old tin drums and pieces of wood.
The list of victims from Wales reads like a who's who of Welsh cafes: Carpanini, Rabbiotti, Sidoli, and my own great-grandfather, Giacomo Fulgoni, was also killed. These photos show the happy times he spent here in Wales. He moved here from Italy for a better life for the family, but sadly it came at a price. Despite their loss, my family, like all those involved, did their best to get on with their lives, not wanting to draw attention to the fact they were immigrants.
I hope that by this silent tragedy being spoken about now, people, Welsh and some Italians, are hearing points from this tragedy that they didn't really know. And I hope people register these and think, never again, please God, never again.
Tomorrow, on the anniversary of the tragedy, the victims will be remembered at St David's Cathedral in Cardiff. A special memorial will be unveiled here so that future generations will remember those who died 70 years ago on the Arandora Star. Claire Ceri Jones, Wales Tonight.
I know it's incredibly sad, but I'm so glad that the stories have been passed on so we can remember, because, OK, 70 years ago, but we need to remember those sorts of things, don't we? And
yeah, we do indeed.
Great to hear from Claire on that. And you can see that memorial in the second of Claire's reports here on Wales Tonight. That, of course, is at 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Well, let's move on to the day's sport now. And Cardiff City have denied reports that their former owner, Sam Hammam, is returning to the club. Newspapers and websites have been full of talk that Hammam is set